by firing squad. It was a murder. We feel that Andre Dickens has blood on his hands. Governor Kemp has blood on his hands. The Atlanta Police Department has blood on their hands. The troopers who shot Fear have blood on their hands. We find it incredibly, not even difficult to believe, impossible to believe, that the Atlanta Police Department, the DeKalb Police Department, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, state troopers, SWAT teams, some even say FBI were in there, that no one had a body cam on. No one had any imagery whatsoever of the killing of this young person. That means it was a setup. The Atlanta Police Department is required to have their body cams on. But yet they forgot doing a killing spree or doing a shooting of 13, 14 bullets. It is impossible to believe the narrative of the police, not just in this case, but in case after case across the country. What brought people out into the forest, into the streets, to demonstrate against Cop City has been the police murders over and over and over again across this country of black and brown people in particular.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all out to the Remix Morning Show, where not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear suit jackets. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Black Power Media. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Let me introduce you to your host. We got no other than Dr. Jerry Ball. And Jackie Lukeman. Burning Down Kim Brown. And Kamal K. Franklin. Yeah. All right.
Get that extra reverb. He deserves it today, though.
He deserved it today. He earned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Let's unmute your mic there, suit jacket.
Suit jacket.
Carl,
My bad.
So when he throw the suit jacket on, it's a wrap.
My bad.
Mr. Carl Kamal there.
Nope.
Carl Kamal.
Well.
There's no Camus this morning. It's all
I want to hear Kim speak. I want to see if her mic is working. Let's just get to something silly right away.
See, we started out giving you props, and there you go.
Yeah. Let's hear
Kim, unmute your mic.
With just a couple of words, Kim. Let's just see if it's
Kim.
working. You can smile all day. Look at she's just gonna smile all day.
That's how we like our ladies now. Playing.
Oh wow!
Yikes! Oh, I know that's gonna make her talk first. She's not.
I tried to get her.
It's got to be a record. 7 minutes in.
No, you're on mute. If you're trying to talk, you're on mute. Ain't she the radio DJ professional here?
Hey,
there you go.
Alone. I do the talking. I do not push the buttons. Clearly,
Make it plain, Kim. Make it plain for these dudes. Oh.
It's still semi not working, but it's fine.
It's definitely not working. It is absolutely not working. So there's no semi about it. But Kamal, that was a very rousing speech that you gave there. It's speaking nothing but truth. I felt very moved.
Thank you, guys. Well, since we're going to talk about a little bit, so the family of Twitagita came to town. That was his mother who was standing behind me. The lawyers who are going to be representing the family on a wrongful death suit, possibly, but right now an investigation into how he was killed. The family did a private autopsy and found that he was shot at least, and they couldn't even pinpoint it. They say 12 to 13 times at least. And so there could be more times he was shot, and they just cannot tell at this point. So still the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which is leading the investigation, an agency that was in the forest, participated in the killing, is somehow able to lead the investigation, hasn't released all the information on exactly where, what the time period, whether or not they have any audio, if they have any drone footage. Nothing of that sort has still been released, but they're still at the same time that the family called a press conference, which was released several days ago. They decided to do a raid in the forest and try to sort of one up the family by doing a raid and having the media out there, particularly the AJC, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which is a leading newspaper out here in Atlanta, which is also a full financial backer of Cop City. So they did that to skew headlines. Hopefully the word got out. The mother was very great in terms of, what she said, her remembrances of her son. It's got to be obviously one of the hardest moments of her life to have to speak in front of cameras and talk about a deceased son. His brother was there and his dad was there. So it was an emotional moment for everybody. The pressure has still been on. In fact, over the last few days, because of the pressure of the students in particular, Andre Dickens had a private meeting yesterday with Morehouse students, Spelman students, the whole AUC, the faculty, hosted by the Morehouse president, where students leaked it to us as organizers. Some of them came outside and spoke at a rally afterwards and said that Dickens said, and they quoted, that he is not a sellout. And that he does feel he's almost like he had his Nixon.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who reported?
Andre Dickens, the mayor, the black mayor of Atlanta,
said himself that he is not a sellout.
He is not. He told the students he is not.
That's not a good.
That's not a good one.
Not a sellout.
Right. That's
he
never.
Said he had his Nixon moment. I am not a crook. He's like, I am not a sellout. I am not a sellout.
Which means, of course, that he is. I mean,
Exactly. I mean, right.
Exactly.
I mean,
if you have to point that out, then
I am a good person.
Just because I like cops.
Wow. Good. It was good to see that video of the Morgan students. Dude was out there with a bullhorn spilling
Morehouse.
all the tea, and it was
Morehouse.
Yeah.
Don't you put that civil rights acting up nonsense on our good, upstanding students. How dare you, Jay?
So Kamau, are the Morgan, Jesus, I did it too. Morehouse and Spelman students, are they putting the pressure on their administrations to pull out of Cop City as financial backers?
Right now, it's been that the students started to get politicized because apparently their institution is on the board of the Atlanta, I'm going to mess up the name, the Atlanta Progress Organization, which is a larger 501c3 organization that is connected to supporting the Atlanta Police Foundation and the building of Cop City. So apparently they're not officially on the board of the Atlanta Police Foundation from what we've seen so far, but they're sort of one step connected. So yes, they are trying to put pressure on them and to make a public statement that says they are opposed to the building of Cop City. And in general, they've not only joined, but they've infused energy into the movement of saying, let's stop Cop City, particularly because Dickens, again, has been saying, he doesn't have to worry about people outside of Atlanta, like when it's the young white kids who got arrested. But now he feels the need to pay particular attention if Morehouse and Spelman students, because that means their parents, that means other cats in the neighborhood. So this is a real breakthrough. And Georgia State is protesting. Georgia State is his alma mater. Georgia State is protesting. No, Georgia Tech is his alma mater. I'm sorry. And they're protesting, and Georgia State is protesting. So 4, 5, 6 of the major campuses or colleges here in Atlanta have all broken out with student movements against Cop City. In fact, Friday, I'm going to be speaking at Georgia Tech. They have a rally going on from 1 to 4. They expect it to be a really good sized rally. And so the pressure still remains on. He's going to be at Fox Theater, I think, tonight. There's going to be people there to greet the mayor at Fox Theater. So the pressure remains on. No one is giving up this fight, even as they move their military apparatus. If you saw the pictures, like when we come back and we do a news story, I want to show people the pictures of the military, the police, moving in to the forest and all the equipment that they brought with them, the outfits that they have on, and to show exactly what they're doing in terms of this militarized force already and what they're expected to be.
Wow.
Big ups to community movement builders, to the students down in Atlanta, to the people in the community. Big ups to y'all for kicking their ass, just,
To the forest
fighting.
defenders,
Yep,
the
everybody,
Amicus cats, all of them. Yeah.
The solidarity.
not taking
Yeah.
this standing down, fight. We are with you in solidarity. Let us know what we can do up here to support you, to back you. Big ups to y'all.
I think that you're going to win. I think we collectively are going to win. Specifically, I think the people of Atlanta are going to be victorious in this fight against Cop City. I feel it. I feel as though our enemies are going to falter on this particular battle, and I think we're going to be victorious.
I hope you're right. At the very, for me, at the very least, I want to make Andre Dickens pay a price.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he needs to pay a price. So if they, again, it's capital, they got the money, they got the resources, they got the army. So at the very least, I want to try to, in my estimation, we need to try to make him pay a price, a high political price. And so that's another reason why, we're turning a lot of attention on him. Because just like Keisha Lance Bottoms, he needs to come out of this without a second term. He needs to come out of this thinking he needs to resign or actually resigning. So if we can't stop it, and I hope you're right, and I hope we do, he's going to have to pay a political price for it. And the organizing that's been happening, one of the proudest moments I'll say about this is that the organizing that has been happening, the United Front that someone mentioned in the chat, has been very real. Organizers from different political affiliations, folks from across the map have figured out ways to work together, to have disagreements and solve them at this particular point, but to really dig in on the work of stopping Cop City. And that's something we're going to be able to carry forward. So
let me ask you, I'm sorry, one more question. I mean, in terms of some of the legacy civil rights organizations, are they saying anything, doing anything? The Urban League, the NAACP, is anybody saying the churches, Raphael Warnock, are any of the legacy folks becoming?
We're having some meetings with some of the legacy folks now to get some of them to come out more publicly, right? Some of them have said things behind the scenes. Some of folks have actually written some stuff around after the killing of Tortuguita. They've written, social media posts calling for independent investigation. But I think we feel like that's one of the things lacking. And even in what we're trying to do is to get that old guard that apparently these bourgeois mayors are responsive to come out and say something. And so we have various meetings planned. Hopefully those meetings will lead to actions by some of these groups. There has been individuals within the NAACP in particular, I think the local Atlanta chapter, that has said some things, but we need to get them out to do more and to say more.
And do you think Cop City will become a cause célèbre amongst the Atlanta Black celebrity? I don't even know the word for it, but
the celebrity has been very quiet.
I was going to say, that's who I was going to ask about, because as I'm going to talk about later today, the PBS documentary is trying to tell us Killer Mike is the leader of the revolution. You know what I'm saying?
Very quiet. I don't think I've seen anything.
Where Killer Mike at?
Very quiet.
Where the rest of them Atlanta rappers at? Where are all the ones that's on trial for the RICO that wanted the community to stand with them? Yeah, y'all should be opposed to Cop City.
Mm-hmm.
You little hoodlums. Killer Mike quiet as a church mouse. What's going on with that?
He never quiet.
He ain't gonna piss off his dad.
I know, that's right. That's right.
You got to threaten the business community first, then he'll be out there.
Yeah, come out, go out there. The next action is going to be targeting the black barbershops, and you're going to see Killer Mike come out with his bullhorn.
On the opposite end, though, he might be like, "Get the cops over here now! Build it faster! Build it faster!"
Oh man.
Lord.
Anybody, speaking of masters, who masters someone else's masters, we got the ear doctor coming up here, spinning someone else's owned property. What's up, sir?
looking like a sellout.
I can't even play it, man.
Why you look like a sellout? You got the sellout look on.
What was the context of what was happening there?
I didn't know how to say
That was friends are hard to find. Friends, yours and mine. Friends.
That's your man.
Talk
That's
about your friends.
That's
Damn.
your boy. That's your boy. That's
Will they let you down?
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
It's out there. You cannot play no more of Mayor Andre Dickens fundraisers. You cannot spin at another fundraiser here, Doctor.
I told y'all what song I'm gonna play if I have to, man.
He said if I have to. He said,
If I have to.
that money is right. He said that
Hey! With that said, let's take our first break right here on the Remix Morning Show. Wait a minute, why did that come out right?
money. Oh,
There it go. There it go. Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. Make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button, that tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend button, which is the share button. And make sure y'all go to patreon.com and drop some change in the bucket because you know we love it. Now, with that said, let me go ahead and get into some sports. All right. Last night, in case y'all didn't know, LeBron James, yes, right. LeBron James has beat out Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's highest most scored points in the NBA. But a lot of us be like, yo, LeBron did his thing. But let's talk about why LeBron really did his thing and how he got there. I wanted to draw your attention to no other than Savannah James. That's right. A lot of these brothers can't get nowhere without the sisters. And Savannah, you know, let me tell you about Savannah a little bit. She's straight from Akron, Ohio also. She started off dating LeBron back in the day. She was a cheerleader. So you talking about putting in the years and having a beautiful family and staying connected from all the way from high school to now and continue to do it. And she doesn't just sit around. No, she's a brilliant entrepreneur, a philanthropist, a mentor, a furniture designer, and famous for her community services. So she's been out here doing her thing, not just sitting in the back. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the sisters that make sure these brothers get where they supposed to. Because you know a lot of times these brothers don't have a good sister on their side, especially when it comes to basketball. So big up to her and what she's doing, and big up to all the sisters out there that make sure that these brothers is on point and get to where they need to be. And that is the sports of today. Big up to all y'all out there. Now let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning crew. You know how we do. All right, let's go.
You know, he almost said the good woman behind him. He was this close. He was this close.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He was this close.
Mm.
I heard it almost come out your mouth.
You got to have a woman on the side of you, man. We talking about behind.
Nah, you were just on the side here. He was this close. He was this close. He tried to clean it up a little bit, but he was like this.
Can we get back to bigging up these beautiful sisters out here that's making sure that these brothers is on point?
Because that's their job. Make sure these brothers are on point.
They better than us. So
Well, you know.
What? How am I agreeing with
Job.
your doctor today? How
I'm
is
just
this happening?
saying.
What is going on?
Hey, I speak truth. Fix your face, Kim.
It just sounds like additional labor. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm supposed to have myself on point and have you on point. What? Aren't we
That
all?
is true, actually. That is true.
Well,
You have yourself on point, grown man.
well, don't the man have to be the protector? He has to be on point also, right?
God. Oh God. This isn't going to get any better.
I mean, people have they certain things that they do in the household. Just like
Can y'all just call me when he's finished, please?
a point. A point guard has to disperse the ball. A center has to stay down low and get the ball and get the
This
rebounds.
This ain't basketball, dude.
It's a
This is
team
not
sport.
basketball.
When you talk
This is
about
real life.
marriage,
This is real life.
Are you still
Man-
married?
no, bye.
No.
Exactly.
Precisely.
All this marriage
And
advice
not due
from
to
the
natural
unmarried.
causes.
That's it. That's it. Right. He can't claim, yeah.
An
He
artificial
ain't no,
termination.
yeah, nah. She was
So,
like,
Jared.
I'm out. I'm very right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead,
Gerald,
Kim.
tell them how it's done. Tell them how good listeners you guys are. Tell them how well you all take direction and
Let go and let wife.
Come on.
And
Jared.
Let
explain
go
how
and
that
let wife.
protection is reciprocal. It's a
First of
two-way
all,
street.
like Dr. Joy James says, the captive maternal is a genderless category. So in other words, there are moments where we have to step in and perform that role. There are moments where women step in and perform that role, and the same thing with everything else. Sometimes my wife is the protector, and you know, and sometimes I'm the whatever, the stereotypical whatever. So you know, you know, but let go and let wife. That is, that is what will get you over, sustain your life and your health.
That's right.
Put that on a t-shirt. Put that on a shirt, man.
I did get that one where I got that my wife is Superwoman and your wife is the emblem on the women's bathroom. I got that one. That, you know, like you got the shirt where it says my wife and it's got the Wonder Woman or Superwoman or whatever. And then on the other side it says your wife and it's got the
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just I struggle to understand why we still have these conversations in 2023. Why we're still doing this. Like most women will tell you that, you know, look, we don't need, you know, big strong man to protect us. We all right. It's a nice concept. It's nice, you know, every once in a while to sit back and, you know, let the man, because Abdus sure as hell did it. You couldn't say anything or do anything. You couldn't come near me because of that man. He would have caught some more time for me and would have been happy to do it. Almost did one time too. But by the same token, I treated him the same way. You couldn't say nothing about that man. You couldn't. I wish you would. To this day, he's gone, transition. I wish I would hear somebody saying something slick out their mouth about that man. I will
to
punch
this
you in
day,
the-
one of my favorite moments, and we got crew witnesses, is when my wife and her teeny tiny self stepped into the cipher to stand up for me when somebody spoke recklessly. And she stepped right in that joint and said, "Oh no, you clarify what you said. You said what you said. What you talking about?" And I was like,
So it's reciprocal. It's a two-way street. You know, yes, it's nice to have someone who will step up and protect you, but you protect the people you love, and that applies to women too.
Agreed.
On that note, can we slap a mat?
slap
I
it.
suppose.
Yes, y'all.
Right on. Sorry about that, Kim.
All good.
As I apologize publicly for stepping all over you like that. My apologies.
I know I'm short, Jared, but damn, you ain't got to step off.
I'll protect you, Kim.
I apologize. I was a little anxious because we did get a little bit of unfortunate breaking news that I wanted to share very quickly if I could before we get started. But you know, because all jokes aside, when we're asking questions about why we keep having certain discussions or why certain issues come up, one of the reasons is because we are not yet free, and one of the evidences of that lack of freedom is the fact that we still have political prisoners, and not all of them are doing well. So we got a latest announcement coming out this morning from the Spirit of Mandela crew, Kamal Siddiqui. And if you are not familiar, he is legendarily, and we can come back and talk about that, connected, of course, with Assata Shakur, is facing a medical crisis due to medical neglect at Augusta State Medical Prison. He has not received his blood pressure medication, amlodipine, in 4 days. Thank you. He is at high risk for a heart attack and stroke. Without this medication, his family and loved ones are extremely concerned for his well-being. We are asking folks to call Augusta Medical Prison Administrative Office Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. That is today, to put pressure on the prison to provide Kamal with his necessary blood pressure medication and inform his family of his health needs. We can make sure all this information is put in the chat maybe and available, or you can simply go to freekamal.com and get caught up with this information and hopefully get on the phone and make those calls. Again, freekamal.com for more information. And to our Kamal currently here, I don't know if you want to, help us in a quick summary of who Siddiqui is, but obviously connected with Assata Shakur, rearrested, if I'm not mistaken, for refusing to say where she is. If isn't that behind why he's currently incarcerated? I can't remember the exact details, but anyway, we do have a great discussion with Dhoruba about the life of Kamal Siddiqui on our channel. It's one of my favorite conversations with Dhoruba, but very important to continue to support all of these folks and him in particular in this moment. So anyway.
No, I'm sorry. Like, I also am a loss as to what his most recent, because he's been locked down. He was actually in New York at one point before even being brought out here. And I actually visited him one time in New York. It might even been at Rikers or whatever. But I can't remember either, like, the latest rationale for what put him back behind bars. I know there was some other speculation, but I don't want to talk about that without having more information on it. But as folks do know, yes, he is, him and Assata are linked because they share a child together. One of the famous stories that Assata tells in her book is, of course, during her trial and in the courtroom and the relationship that they had. Kamal Siddiqui was a Panther, as Assata was, or is a veteran Panther, both are. And it has been locked down for a long time now, and is not one of the folks who gets a lot of attention in terms of when we talk about the political struggle and we talk about the Black Panthers and political prisoners. So it's great that you guys decided to lift this up, and we should have further conversations and probably have somebody on who can talk a little bit more about Kamal's history in the Panthers and what the latest legal issues are that has led him back in for such a long time.
Yeah, right on. Anyway, thanks for that. And freekamal.com for more information. We will obviously keep following up as a platform. And and I think you're right. Get some more expert voices involved. But anyway, so I turn it over to any of you who have got anything you want to take us to this morning.
I don't mind starting just to finish off that Cop City stuff. So I just really quick wanted to show people two quick things on Twitter. One is, I don't know if this, I'm going to see if this has any sound to it. But this is a video of, so this is a video of them clearing out, doing another raid on the forest. And these are supposedly police in army uniform. Look at this. Georgia State Patrol.
So this is clearly why we see all these links between U.S. police and Israeli police, like this bulldozing, this home destruction, camp resettlement, whatever. It looks all the same.
And they're putting up a new fence. I think over here they start to show you to fence off the forest and try to prevent additional forest defenders from coming back in. You see the huge rifle, the huge guns, the AKs they got. All of this was done, again, timed to be done at the same time that the family was having their press conference on the killing by these same troopers who were out here. And then the other video I wanted to show real quick, just to wrap it up, was this is a quick video of a student who came out last night after Dickens had spoken.
When he was questioned about how this lies with his morals, he didn't even answer. He literally said that he feels disconnected from his community. And David A. Thomas, it's because you fucking are. We don't stand with you, bro. We just don't.
We are not Thomas men.
Yeah,
So,
kids.
so that's Morehouse students. So yeah, a lot of them, they checked it out, what was going on. Again, they gave us the heads up. That's how folks on the outside sort of got to know what was happening. The president of Morehouse himself sat with Dickens on the stage. Dickens did a PowerPoint presentation on why they need Cop City. And other reports were that he was cutting students off, wouldn't let them finish their speaking. So whatever he thought he was going to get out of it, it seems to have backfired on him, to the point where someone else reported, some other students reported that he said from the stage that he is not a sellout. So yeah.
I mean, if any of you YouTube internet warriors finds that clip, please share that. We will drop that instantly. Like,
And we're hoping for some leaked video. Yeah, we need
That's
some
what I'm
leaked
saying.
video. Yeah, so far we haven't gotten the video, but but there was also, they did a Zoom part of it for faculty and other folks who couldn't make it. So I'm hoping that somehow someone recorded something that can be distributed later on, because I need to see that part too. Yeah. Yeah. If anybody who's about to sell out, the moment you say I'm not a sellout, it's already too late.
that's it. That's the jumping the shark moment. That's your moment. Wow. Yeah. Anyway.
So the story, I want to bring up a story that is, in my opinion, somewhat loosely, in a way, tied to the domestic terrorism charges that protesters against the building of Cop City got hit with. Because I'm sure you guys saw the story, it made national news. A pair of white supremacists were trying to take down Baltimore City's power grid, right? This white woman and this white man, who were neo-Nazis, were allegedly conspiring to attack power substations in and around Baltimore City with their intention to, quote, lay the city to waste. And I don't know if it was the feds or if it was Maryland, the law enforcement, that ended up catching up with them. Long story short, they were hit with these charges, but not one of them charges, to my knowledge, was one of domestic terrorism. I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm like, these people did a whole conspiracy to terrorize an American city by cutting off its power or attacking its power systems. And I don't believe they were charged with domestic terrorism. I think they were charged with conspiracy and a plot to attack a electric substation or whatever. But I don't think domestic terror. Chat, correct me if I got this wrong. But I just thought that was interesting that these people who were targeting a public utility to intentionally commit a racist attack against a majority Black city were not charged with terrorism, but the people sitting in the trees and defending the forest were charged with domestic terrorism.
And one better is the January 6th, none of those folks were charged with a domestic terrorism charge, right?
No,
folks who had lists of politicians they were going to go get and see, they actually went into the state capitol, and none of them were charged with domestic terrorism.
The federal U.S. Capitol.
Right. And what the man is actually one of the founders of the Atomwaffen, which is literally a neo-Nazi group. But no domestic terrorism charge. That's not at all. And these people are saying that
Catonsville.
this
I should have known.
The tree-lined streets of Catonsville.
No,
hotbed of white supremacy and Nazi sentiment.
The woman is originally, I think, from Cecil County, which is in the northeast part of the state, and she herself.
Even worse.
Thank you. Rising Sun, Maryland. I had heard stories as a youth.
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
No, Cecil County is notorious, and they have some of the highest rates of official Nazi skinhead population. Like they're like overtly, and that's where so much of oh man, now I can't remember. Anyway, it's a mess. Sorry, Kim. It's just a mess. They're a mess.
But there we go. There's our Maryland crackers. Maryland is not as
So-
progressive as advertised. Maryland Gruckers. Sorry.
It does look like the closest we get is the Southern Poverty Law Center has deemed her group or their group a terroristic neo-Nazi organization, but I don't see that they've actually been accused of a terrorist act in this case, to your point. Even if they're coming out of an organization that is itself listed as a terrorist, neo-terrorist organization, but what they're doing is it's, at least so far. So anyway, I'm obviously just quickly scanning this, but I don't see that's interesting. And I had not heard about this story.
And incredulously, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kim.
No, Jackie, go ahead.
Incredulously, the prosecutors, the feds, are saying that this foiled attack is not in any way related to the other attempts on power grids across the country. Not related in any way. Not at all.
Girl, if it was Black groups doing this shit, oh my God, we would be in jail. Us, not even affiliated. They would come lock us
Our
up.
families, they confiscate our pets.
The right
Asset
wing,
forfeiture.
how is I know how, but it's just a formal
Could you
question.
imagine Tucker
Right.
Carlson's broadcast that night, Kim?
Oh my God. The
Or
right
these
wing,
days too, if they were white, if they were Chinese,
in the U.S.
if they were Chinese at this stage too,
Woo, Lord have mercy. Good.
it'd be wall to wall news coverage.
yes.
Wall to wall new Chinese spies. You know what I mean? Wall to wall, international. It would be
With their balloons.
yeah, with their balloons.
Spy balloons. State of the art, cutting edge spy balloons.
But it's just so revealing that far right wing violence is not a threat to homeland security. I mean, they may, the Department of Justice and the FBI might say, yeah, the right wing extremists are the biggest domestic terrorist threat, but y'all don't do shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't label these organizations as domestic terrorism organizations because they're your kinfolk.
That's what I was gonna say. They're not gonna tell their friends. That's their friends. Yeah.
And was it also like for the day of the so-called insurrection, like hardly anybody was arrested that day, right? It was there was like nil arrest the day of when they're trashing. Yeah, they're trashing the Capitol, breaking windows. Again, if I'm not mistaken, did a cop die in that incident or a security guard?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but not one arrest that day. Everybody got to go home. Be like, all right, see you later. See you at dinner, Larry.
Right, that's what it was. Right. Jim, get the steaks ready.
I get off at 4. We got to clean up now after what y'all did, but I'll be there.
But again, these laws that were passed in conjunction with January 6th, alleged to address a potential insurrection or whatever, they're just being used against leftist organizing groups and people that come out against the state. Like it wasn't us running through the U.S. Capitol. I was rooting for them. I didn't agree with them or their ideologies, but I liked what the fuck they was doing. But dog, come on.
It's interesting because the law in Georgia was passed after the white boy shot up the church in South Carolina, right? And so that was their supposed reason for passing that law. But again, the first time that they've ever used it is in this case for folks who basically have been environmentalists, right? Tree sitters. So this is the first time they've used it since invoking it or since creating it several years ago.
Yeah, and when all of these laws that were passed to deal with domestic terrorism, and most of those laws were actually passed after the 2020 uprisings against police terrorism. There were not a lot of laws passed after January 6th because they were like, "What? We do not want to send the impression that we're going to prosecute white people for doing."
That's true. There has not been a flurry. That's right. There's not been a flurry of legislative new laws to criminalize, not at the state level or. That's right.
No, in fact, didn't Biden tell us last night that everything is perfect? Like, not only was it not a problem.
I can't even talk about that trash.
Are we going
I
to cover
can't-
that?
can't.
I didn't even get to
I'm
see
not-
it. We got to.
I tried to watch. I did try to watch, and
I
and,
cannot.
and
I-
it's just
yeah.
Yeah, I got to bring out
It's-
some clips. He didn't have a moment. He didn't have a fund the police moment, a standing ovation moment, a fund the
No,
police.
Oh,
not
yeah.
every standing ovation moments, but I mean, he took his
No, he
extra
did.
grumpy juice last night.
He-
Did they? I actually
yeah, there
didn't
were
watch the
because
whole thing.
he did say there was something about there was we're coming back, and then there was something about there was something about funding the military or the police, and then he got a big. Did they stand up when he announced, just like Obama and everybody else does when they do these things, that big oil has had record profits, and he's saying that, and it's always the Democrats saying that as a way to blunt the coming criticism from the right. I know I'm about to say something to make you upset, so let me just remind y'all that while I was in charge, your profits have been bigger than ever. And it was like, but I didn't. After that, I had to. I slowly started to fade it out, but
Well,
Yeah.
But the best part of parts of the speech was when he was very obviously being heckled by members of the Republican caucus. And it's so wild to me as Joe Biden is standing there pledging to reach across the aisle and work with his opponents. I want to work with Republicans. Republicans are like, boo, nigga, boo.
Liar! You're a liar!
We don't want to work with you. And again, the Democrats just continue to prove themselves how feckless you are. Like, the Republicans are in a fight. Democrats want to reach across the aisle. Why do you want to reach across the aisle to people that want to punch you in the face? You just will continue to get punched in the face.
In the face, yeah. And the funny
They
thing
always think that's a good talking point. They always think saying, "I'm going to reach across the aisle," because I guess they're trying for that moderate white, right? That in between so-called moderate white that's supposed to be like, I like that. I like that they want to reach across out and talk to the Republicans. It's like, who the fuck does that inspire?
No, I mean, that the Democrats are still under the delusion that the Republican voters they're embarrassed by Trump. Now that's what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh, we can seize on this moment to leech off some of these moderate Republican voters, or these Republican voters who have buyer's remorse that they voted for Trump. So now, we can show them that, we're tough on crime. We're going to continue to fund the police. Biden has to show that he's tough on China. That's what all this balloon shit is about, and this continuing stoking war against China. And claiming that these Chinese spy balloons, weren't discovered during the Trump administration, but they were magically discovered under the Biden administration. That's what that shit is about. Just showing these Republicans who regretted that they voted for Trump, that Biden is tough on China, unlike Trump. That's what part of what this Ukraine war is about. Biden showing he's tough on Russia, unlike Trump. With all of this shit. So that's what.
And they're just going to go vote for DeSantis anyway. I mean, it's
all
not like
they're
they're
gonna do.
it's
That
not
is
like they're going to
all
leave
they're
and go
gonna
like,
do.
oh, let me go vote for Kamala when Joe dies or something like that. They're
And
going to
this
just
is
No,
go.
I heard you all getting it right yesterday. It's not going to be Kamala. It's going to be Wes.
Well, that's
It's
true.
going to be our
Yeah,
boy
yeah.
Wes.
Yeah,
You all had it.
is.
I'm with
Yeah.
you on
Or
that.
no,
I got
or-
a bet
or
with
this
my
might
students
be-
and everything. Wes.
But what's the Buttigieg?
Wait a minute.
Buttigieg.
Is that
I don't
Wes?
think
Wait,
so.
put that
No.
picture back up. Put that picture back up.
Ear
Who's this
Doctor
other
swears
dude?
He looks like Styles P. I don't.
Is that who is that though?
I think so, Ear Doctor. I think he's trying to do there, but I don't think so.
Oh, I thought. Okay, my bad. I thought you were saying Styles P was hanging out with Wes Moore. I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? Please don't do that. Oh, okay, I get
There's
it.
a little
Okay.
resemblance. There's a little
Hey,
resemblance.
let me say this for the record. I said this back in October before the Maryland gubernatorial elections. I said the Democrats, that is, National Democrats, are going to draft Wes Moore because he is the perfect, shiny, credentialed Negro to unite the party. I don't know what the fuck they think Wes Moore is going to do, but I just want to be on the record that I said this shit months ago. So I just want that to be on the record.
I don't think
Yeah, I
he's
think-
popping in until 2028. I don't think
Yeah.
it's too. It's like Biden
No,
is
I'm with
alive.
Kim on this. I think he's.
What if Biden dies?
Well, if he died, then it's a free fall because Buttigieg or whatever, or what's the
He's
like?
not.
What's his
No,
name?
no.
No, I'm ramping it up, and I'm sure I'm getting this from Kim and at least maybe one other person, but I think he's fast tracked. I bet my students. I said he's in the next one.
He hasn't had his Obama moment yet. He hasn't spoken at the Democratic National Convention to do his speech.
Well, watch. He is going to be if not the keynote speaker. He will speak at the DNC convention.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to happen. And BAP Baltimore actually put out a statement about this dude that, look, I can't read everything my org puts out because we put out a lot of stuff, but
that is a fact.
That's
that listserv be on fire.
But BAP Baltimore put out a fantastic statement about Baltimore.
He stresses.
It's Jackie's fault for bringing it up. No, you said you can't read everything that your organization puts out. We were like, that listserv. We were like, that listserv.
Like, man, we do a lot. And
but finish it. I'm sorry, but go back. I don't want to sidetrack you. Go back to what you had said.
What did you say about Westmore? I'm interested in this big time.
So let me pull it up. Ooh, sorry.
To be clear, I think someone said this on Twitter, and I agree. They said that new Baltimore State's Attorney Ivan Bates and new Maryland Governor Westmore, they're going to lock a lot of people up over the next couple of years. They're going to put a lot of people in jail. But yeah,
well, they got to get that white vote. That's what he's going to run on when he's like, look at how many I put in jail just in my one little state. Imagine what I could do for all 50 of you motherfuckers.
And so he was sworn in on Douglas. I take it Frederick Douglas Bible, and Oprah did the intro for his inauguration, and
it's a wrap.
Ricky said that he was crying. She was crying.
It's a wrap.
So he's got
Oprah cry, you win. It's money.
you got the Oprah touch. I still think it's 2028, but either way, I think he's definitely. I mean, if Biden dies, it is a free for all in the Democratic Party. Everybody coming out. Like we talked about yesterday. So Kamala is supposedly the natural choice for next. No one's respecting that.
Everybody. I was just looking at her sitting behind him last night in the shots last night. Like, sister, this is a wrap for you. Get these 15 minutes in because this is the last we about to see from you. Sit there and get all your camera time because you about to get replaced.
All right, I got the statement.
Kamala was the point with her standing and cheer. I mean, I'm like, was she a cheerleader in college? Because
she was.
She kept,
and looking at the white, what was his name next to her? She was like nodding it though. Like, I see you over there trying to hate. I got you.
All right, y'all. This is the BAP Baltimore statement on Westmore. And in my defense, y'all, let me just tell you that I literally just saw this yesterday. So, and it was published on the 6th. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, but the statement reads in part, recently Maryland swore in its first Black governor, Westmore, in a historic in quotes, ceremony cemented with a tearful introduction by, Oprah Winfrey, and a hand on Frederick Douglass's Bible. Oh my God. The Black elite flocked to fill the rooms of the inauguration to witness the third elected Black governor in U.S. history. Yet this first Black gubernatorial win is history repeating itself. African Black communities have witnessed first Blacks consistently continuing over-policing, surveillance, criminalization, and austerity policies. As Black Alliance for Peace, BAP member organization Ujima People's Progress Party understands, quote, the Black middle class's allegiance to capitalism and not Black liberation has largely led the Black political leadership class to function as a comprador misleadership class over the Black majority of working peoples on behalf of the capitalist parties and political machines they are members of, end quote. They go on to say a little further down, it remains unclear if Moore has been raised in Baltimore City, yet as the backdrop of Moore's life.
What does that mean?
Don't nobody know where that nigga from.
His origin story, that shit don't be matching. That shit is not matching.
So
don't y'all mess up his narrative.
Yeah, they go on to say
the
city has been central. The city has been central to his platform on crime. The public safety and criminal justice page on westmore.com states, quote, violent crime is on the rise across Maryland and people are dying in our streets, end quote. The solutions presented, however, will be nothing short of a plan to continue what in his campaign to refund the police, which increased resources for state law enforcement agencies following the 2020 uprising. The statement continues with Westmore's connections with Mayor Brandon Scott's office, and the city design city planning committee will shape or harm what's happening in Baltimore with no control over the city's policing. With no control over the city's policing, Moore's decisions directly affect the most marginalized of us. That was from Baltimore core member Kimya Nuru Dennis. Going to drop the link to this statement in chat for you. This is the kind of work that we do in the Black Alliance for Peace, not just international analysis of international policies, but all the way down to local politics, because all politics is local and it is all connected to this international imperialism that we African working class colonized people around the world are subjected to. So statements in the chat, really good information. You cannot get this kind of information and get this kind of analysis and get this kind of understanding of why the election of a first Black governor is important to the overall international political machinery unless you are in an organization or connected to one. Join a damn organization. Doesn't have to be
too. Anytime y'all talk about Maryland, anytime y'all talk about Maryland or DC or Morgan, the numbers always jump. So y'all got some fucking spies out there watching y'all. Y'all got anytime y'all Westmore, wherever his crew, the numbers just jump when y'all start talking about that area and shit like that. So you know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna front y'all. The black bourgeoisie of the DMV collectively are not just Maryland. I'll throw DC in there because you know the niggas in DC is worse. Right. So I mean, but they're so happy come out. I wish you could see like there's so much praise, unearned praise for Westmore. So optimistic, like why are you niggas so encouraged by this? Like I am troubled, and thank you for Baltimore and Ujima People's Party for recognizing his origin story having a flaw in it. To me, is not a little deal. Like I don't understand why in the 21st century, in the big year 2022, 2023, how are people still lying about where they are from? Like and why? Why? I mean, why the lie?
George Santos did it, and he's still in what?
He's got that narrative. He's got to get that. He's learning. What's the book? What's the Obama book he wrote? The father book. Who's the book?
Dreams of My Father.
He's got to do that. He's got to have his Obama moment. He's got to create that narrative.
He was a community organizer.
No, he wasn't. He was not. And this is what, again, and people, Jackie, like I've said on my show before, on here before, like people from Baltimore and DC are very territorial. You cannot just claim to be from Baltimore and not be from Baltimore. You cannot claim to be from DC and not be from DC. For anyone who went to high school at Westmore, please come forward. I would like to see you because this motherfucker did not go to high school in this state.
Crawl out your petri dish and show yourself as one of his classmates, whoever you are. Well, obviously they're being created in a lab somewhere, Jackie. This ain't real. Get out your petri dish, come out your little cryogenic chamber, whatever the hell they call that nonsense, and reveal yourself.
He is not from Baltimore. He is not from Baltimore. This young man grew up. I say young man, he's the same age as me, but he grew up comfortable in Tacoma Park. Jackie, will you tell
unplug from your charging station and reveal yourself.
Tell him how comfortable Tacoma Park was compared to West Baltimore. It's like, oh, you ain't from West Baltimore.
Wait, he
Yes.
better not be from Tacoma Park claiming wet, because
That
Tacoma
would be-
Park makes Columbia look like East Baltimore. So I don't. If you,
It do though. It really do though.
they do. So he better not be coming to Tacoma Park. Even I would be like, you can't claim these streets.
Oh my God. Hey y'all. Hey y'all, real quick before we go to break, so I do not forget this.
Sorry.
Real quick. No, I love roasting another Obama acolyte before everything we say actually comes to fruition. It's fantastic. I want to bring this to folks' attention real quick. Sudan is about to formalize their peace deal with Israel.
Oh boy.
This is a damn mess.
Oh boy.
An accord with
Sudan,
Sudan,
get your people.
An accord with Sudan holds particular symbolic importance as Khartoum was the venue for the Arab League meeting in 1967. For those of you who follow this kind of thing and remember, where the members of the Arab League in 1967 vowed not to recognize Israel because Israel is an illegitimate state. They stole that land from Palestine, and they have committed. They're in the process of committing an ethnic cleansing against the Palestinian people, and they are indeed an apartheid government system right now. The Arab-Israeli war happened 3 months later, but now, all of that, according to the Sudanese government, no, all of that is forgiven. For years, Arab countries conditioned peace talks with Israel on Israel's withdrawal from the occupied territories of Palestine in the 1967 war that they further stole, and the establishment of a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. Cohen, the ambassador for Sudan, said that his trip had been made with the consent of the United States. He said the visit lays the foundations for a historic peace agreement with a strategic Arab Muslim country. This peace agreement with Sudan between Israel will promote regional stability and contribute to the national security of the state of Israel. So basically, Sudan is now in league with Israel, saying "fuck them Palestinians."
Oh.
Yeah,
And
it's. I mean,
the
it's
reason
just
they had to get rid of
crumbled.
Gaddafi.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, just real quick, the whole part about this deal, this trip that the Sudanese representative made had the approval of the United States. That's how much influence the U.S. has over Sudan. This is a disastrous mess. So there it is.
Well,
I'm sorry.
thanks for that, Jackie. On your way out, we appreciate you
No, I'm not going anywhere.
dumping the
I'm
trash
saying-
can out on the floor. Oh, I thought you
You
said
said
you
you're
were.
not
Oh,
going
I
yet?
thought you.
No,
thought
I
you
just
were
said
gonna wrap up
before,
too.
before we get to the break. I'm not. No,
Oh,
you
boy,
can't get rid of me
okay.
that easy today.
All right,
You'll
well,
be ushering me out.
Speaking of cleaning up
I
these
should-
streets, ear doctors clearly.
I thought you was gonna say speaking of disasters, but that was a good one too.
Nah, man.
I was gonna go there.
Come on, man.
I was gonna
got
go there.
you.
I know Kamal. I was gonna
He jumped in before I can get it out.
exactly. That's how you do. So big up to ZZ Lion Dad.
Thank you, ZZ Lion. Thank you, ZZ Lion.
No doubt. Keep that coming in, y'all. We are accepting donations, cash
That's
apps.
true.
all
We
that
haven't got a
stuff.
lot today. I left y'all alone yesterday. My
Hey.
equipment wasn't working.
Oh, no.
My shit is fly now. You know
So
what I'm saying?
come on, there we go. Kamal is
Okay.
back on his
Right.
block. Let's go.
I need
Get
some
Kamal
more
out
tweed
here.
jackets. I need some more
Hey.
tweed jackets. You know what
Mac.
I'm saying?
Mac
Let's-
Franklin, get out on that
More
block.
velvet.
Let's make sure Camus is looking good.
That money
That's-
ain't gonna make itself.
That's
Alright.
true. I can't
So-
run no more, but I can stand there in the tweed jacket. You know what I'm saying?
And ear
You know, hook
doctor,
it up.
What up?
ear doctor, put some time on this break, bruh.
Oh yeah. I got you right here on the Remix Morning Show. Joe. Yo, good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Make sure y'all hitting that like, subscribe button, and all that stuff right here, right now. We got 322 people. We had up to almost 350. Let's keep it going and flowing. With that said, y'all see I'm in these streets. Why am I in these streets? To talk about no other than a hip-hop legend. That's right. 50 years we celebrate hip-hop this year. 50 years. And one of the pioneers I wanted to talk about, no other than Melle Mel. That's right, Melle Mel of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. All right, so Bam, also known as Melvin Glover, straight out the Bronx, better known as Grandmaster Melle Mel. Yo, he's the lead vocalist and the songwriter of the group. It came out in the late 70s. Actually, he may have been one of the first rappers to use the term MC and calling himself MC, which means Masters of Ceremonies. Now, the other vagabonds in this group, you got Kid Creole, Scorpio, Raheem, and Cowboy, and no other than Grandmaster Flash, which made this group all come together. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how their journey. You know, they first started off on Enjoy Records, and they came out with Super Rapping back in 1979. That's right. Rap started in 73, but they got their start in 79. And then they moved over to Sugar Hill Records. That's right. You know Sugar Hill. They had the Sugar Hill Gang on there and stuff like that with Sylvia Robinson. So what they did is they came out and they did a song called Freedom, which was cool, but then this was like in 1982 when your boy Reagan came out with his Reaganomics. And then they came out with the song called The Message. That's right. The Message is one of the first conscious hip hop songs talking about social themes in the ghetto. Everybody started being like, word, that's what's going on. It ain't no cat, hat, rat, and bat. That's right. He made that happen. He did it up big time with The Message, and all the MCs loved it. It even is in the United States National Archives of Historic Recordings, and it got introduced into the Grammy Hall of Fame. This song is that thing. And actually, if you even talk about it, the song I got playing under here is White Lines. Now, guess who was in this video? Lawrence Fishburne was in the video, and it was directed by Spike Lee. He wasn't even known back then. So big up for putting people on like you did. And let's not forget when you seen Melle Mel in the movie Beat Street, the king of the street. I say you're rocking that beat all across the street. And then when he came out on Shaka Khan's I Feel For You, let me rock it Shaka Khan, let me rock it Shaka Khan, that's all I want to do. That's right, that is him. He has some big songs. He even did a song for Vice, for Miami Vice, which is called Jesse. And it was when Jesse Jackson was running for president. So he's been around doing it for this, that, and another third person. He has like 7 albums. So if you want to go check this crew out and see how much flavor they got, please go ahead and do that. That is Melle Mel, Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning crew. You know how we do right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
Yo,
Yeah.
Right on.
Dear Doctor, I always thought that was Curtis Blow on Shaka Khan's I Feel For You. I didn't know that was Melle Mel.
Yep. That was the part
I
too.
was mistaken all these years too.
I thought that
at
was
that.
Curtis Blow.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can hear that.
is that a challenge? Is that a challenge? Is that anybody looking that up?
I mean, wow, like my
I'm just
history
saying, they're
lesson.
trying to
I
say
just
you
did.
off a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
They
That's how I
can.
felt that was. I felt like it was a challenge. Where's Minister Server in the chat? Is he
Yeah,
on?
Minister Server. Let's default to Minister Server.
He ain't always right. He ain't always right.
I take his word for it. And Doctor said it was Melle Mel. It was Melle Mel.
Well,
The disrespect.
Not a hill I want to die on today. All right, I believe you.
It's all good. But yeah, y'all got a good bathroom
somebody else
break.
said it was Curtis Blow.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Wait, what was the track again? I'll look it up right now. What was the
I
track?
Feel For You, Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Somebody else just said it was Melle
I
Mel.
Feel For You.
Oh,
I
who said it
mean,
was Melle Mel?
everybody's a Googler.
Y'all
So, I
can't tell
mean-
the difference between Melly Mel and Curtis Blow. What y'all saying, black people? What y'all saying? Y'all can't tell the difference.
Y'all can't tell the difference of that cadence because y'all ain't hip hop. That's why.
Oh wow.
Whoa, now he's throwing it down. Now he's
It's
throwing
true.
it down. Look at got the smug look too. Now he's throwing it down. Kim, you still
It is Melly Mel, according to Wikipedia.
All right, I'll catch y'all later, y'all.
Oh,
He took his win and bounced.
good man, smart man.
Good man. I will say though, just like this PBS documentary, the history always leaves out tracks like Brother D's "How We Gonna Make a Black Nation Rise" and stuff like that. There was other radical music that was going in a different direction, even left of Melly Mel's The Message that folks, But anyway.
Isn't Brother D? He's credited with the first hip hop radical song. I think so.
Maybe it works for me. I don't
said
have
that.
a problem with that.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah,
And
first
Brother D was an organizer.
Yeah.
In fact, we worked together in New York for a long time.
Stop playing.
Oh, Brother D, yeah, Brother D, yeah. He was in
Wow.
MXG for a while. He had his own other. He was Brother D. I shouldn't say was. He ain't dead. He is a serious organizer. And the rap shit was something he did for a little while, but then he committed himself to political struggle and stuff like that. He's a little didactic, though. He's a little didactic, just like that song was. Let me just say that.
Oh damn.
I'm just saying that we had lots of, you know what I'm saying?
Had some discussions.
We had some discussions.
Kamau, you should write a book because I feel like you could chronicle very well that era of New York City organizing, Black organizing, and how it dovetailed with hip hop at the same time.
Once upon a time, Kamau, we was talking about a book project.
That's right.
I think we should. I think this would.
We should. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Hey, my career is sufficiently over now, so we might as well.
Why?
What the word? What do you do now?
Actually,
about to happen?
speaking of which, I am gonna be part of some faculty testifying in, I believe, in Annapolis next week on behalf of an effort to bring some collective bargaining to faculty.
Nice.
So I just submitted my rough draft statement this morning. I'm very excited about the prospects of this and trying to do my mini Kamau thing.
It is amazing that teachers and college faculty in the state of Maryland, and I just found out in the state of Massachusetts as well, do not have a right to strike and will be penalized. Like, you can go out there on a strike line if you want to. We will be assessed major fines and perhaps criminal penalties. I mean, that's outrageous.
Yeah,
Teachers don't have a right to strike, and really, wow.
There's no collective bargaining in Maryland and of course, in any area of labor where labor cannot organize, people suffer. So even relative to academia, and I get it, we're not all of us at least, but not everybody's even in my position, and I'm in the lower end of the upper end of senior faculty, if that makes sense. In other words, there are faculty that have no benefits. They're teaching in multiple universities. And somebody just hit me up the other day. They have 7 classes this semester. I'm teaching a 4-4, which is abusive enough. If they're teaching 7 and at multiple universities to try to cobble together enough of a salary, yeah, I mean, and even in my early career, I was teaching a course at University of Maryland, driving 2 hours out west to Frostburg State to teach there. Like a lot of people have to do this because these jobs that many superstar academics are known for don't really exist for the rest of us. Mm-hmm. And when you can't even say, as is my biggest point, like, yes, HBCUs and Morgan State don't have as much as others, but the redistribution within there is itself a mess. So we
have Wes Moore as governor, though. I'm sure he's going to change.
It's all coming. I know. That's why I said I'll step up.
You know what I'm saying?
If Wes got my back, you know what I'm saying? How can I not?
And that actually raises a question for me, because before Wes Moore was inaugurated, Larry Hogan and I believe the HBCUs of Maryland came to some sort of settlement because the state of Maryland had been historically underfunding its HBCUs compared to the white university funding by a lot. So I think the number that the plaintiffs were asking for was $1 billion, and didn't they settle for like $500 million or
It was
something
like
like that?
500 million. Yep, 500
Right.
million to be redistributed back to the states, HBCUs, and then that's sort of what I'm saying. You know, like within that HBCU setting, where is it at? Like where's it going to go?
Because if we're talking about $500 million, which again is pennies in the bucket of what the HBCUs are actually owed. The fact that they settled for 50% of what is owed and counted as a victory to me is fucking laughable, but that's another question. But there's 5 HBCUs in the whole state of Maryland, Morgan State included. So Morgan might be, in theory, receiving $100 million. So where are they putting that $100 million at, Gerard?
In the administrative.
Administrative pocket.
I'm not in those meetings. It might surprise you. It might surprise you to know. Breaking news. I'm not in those meetings. Now, a former, as I may bring up at this hearing, a former provost did tell me in a meeting, quote, "There is a cavernous black hole into which millions of dollars disappear every year, and I do not know where it goes," end quote. So there, people don't know. I mean, students are concerned this semester because of the overbooking and the underhousing. The new buildings are being built, aren't always finished on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. So there are buildings coming up. There's new programs. We've launched new centers and new schools. But the liberal arts, those who have faculty who have pay discrepancies have not, I think, yet been made whole. So I don't, again, but I'm not in those meetings, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But
well, keep us posted on that organizing, because we definitely want to keep up with what y'all teachers doing.
Look,
I would like to
professors and stuff.
And just quickly, I would like to think that on some small level, this is our parallel to what you've been talking about in terms of students and protesting various areas. Like we and this would help, because I'll stop here. But even as the email that came to me was saying, would you be willing to testify, because we're having trouble getting Morgan representation. Because not a lot of faculty are in a position where they can have some degree of protection and be safe from reprisal, and that was the concern. So faculty, the more we're organized, the more we can support the organization of students and everybody else. So that's what I think is, anyway, a small part of it, at least.
I love Jared's not afraid to get in trouble, and I respect that.
Jared looks for trouble. He's like
manufacturing trouble. Chief Petty Officer.
On your tie over here.
This time is good.
Yeah.
Hey,
I didn't want to leave the Biden thing alone yet, so I found like just the New York Times real quick, just to do a quick, because I got a picture. What's the name jumping up? Someone play this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, folks. So let's look at the results. We're not finished yet by any stretch of the imagination, but unemployment rate is at 3.4%, a 50-year low.
Look at Kamala. She practiced. She was
before he finished saying low.
Job's about a lot more than a paycheck. Does it really would say this? It's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean
Hold
it.
that smile, Kamala.
Well, folks, so let's look at the results.
Let's give a little head nod.
We're not finished yet by any stretch of the imagination, but unemployment rate is at 3.4%,
like,
50.
He ain't going to do it yet.
I know a lot of you always kid me for always quoting my dad, but my dad used to say, Joey, your job.
I just want to see her jumping up.
She did that a lot. Ready? Okay. Yes. Give me a J. Give me a O.
Wow.
That was Kamala all night. All night. She's like, no, I am an enthusiastic member of this administration. I should be next.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, please do this.
I'm never going to vote for you.
I'm next in line. Damn it.
No, she's not. She isn't.
No.
She's not. We don't have any heckling clips. We don't have no heckles. The heckles were.
If we can find some real quick, we should definitely show them. We need to spend a little bit more time on that. Well, I mean, as we do, I mean, didn't he look bad though, Joe Biden?
He-
I mean, he looks.
Great.
This cannot last for another year and change.
He's a reanimated corpse, that man.
Yeah, this cannot last.
They were
I
he
mean,
was trying to shout out the name of the Ukrainian ambassador, and you saw the moment on his face where the Ukrainian ambassador's name came up in the prompter, and Joe said, "No, I can't fucking
I'm not
pronounce
gonna
it."
do that. he had to come
gonna
out
stick
and
with
ear doctor
Ukrainian
moment. Was like,
ambassador,
I'm not
and
going to
yeah,
try
that's
that. I'm just not going to do
mm-mm.
He was like, "You, can you stand up? You did,
Right.
yes."
that.
You the guy I like.
Rick.
The place we're
It's a
pouring billions
mess.
of dollars into. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
All right,
Hey, yo,
so
my
y'all-
dad.
I think I. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was trying to
exactly.
quickly get the heckling clip for you real quick. I think
Yeah,
I
I just
got
want to
one.
let y'all know real quick that my dad called before we got to the news segment just to let me know that he's watching and he loves y'all. He said thank you so much. He said he wanted to tell my friend, I guess he was talking about you, Kamal.
That Joker, as your dad said, "Tell that Joker."
now I'm his friend though. Yeah,
That
now I'm
Joker.
his
Yeah,
friend.
yeah, you're my
Now I'm
friend now.
friend.
So, hey, daddy.
Hey, what's your
Yeah.
dad's name? Jack? What's your what's his name? What's his name? Mr. Allen. What'd you say his name was?
My dad country. His name is Cleophas. Mrs. Cleophas Malone
We know
the
that.
second. Yes,
Cleophas.
sir.
Oh, he got the old school name. He do,
Cleophas
he do,
Malone
he do.
Jr. Yes, sir. That's
Right
my
on.
dad.
Oh, good morning,
Elder
Mr.
Cleophas Malone.
Thank you,
Jr.
Mr. Malone.
Mhm.
And this goes out to you, Mr. Malone. This little heckling of our buddy Joe goes out to you, Mr. Malone, for all the people that wish they could heckle a white man this morning, like Marjorie. Like,
Some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy.
You
I'll give you a
lie.
copy
Look
of
at
the
what she
proposal.
wearing, B.
I was like, what is it?
That means
Just,
Is that a
Congress
mink?
doesn't vote.
just go kill a seal right before
Well, I'm
she
glad to
came
see
in
you.
there?
No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion.
And what did that mean? Did he
You know,
mean that? He
these-
didn't mean conversion, right?
Did he say conversion?
Yeah.
He said conversion, didn't he?
Yeah. He said, I don't mind conversion. Is that a new way of saying, you know?
That's, I was gonna say, is that sex talk for Joe? I don't understand what that
That
means.
zombie juice started to wear off at that point.
He went back to the old Joe Biden with the with the
Oh my
inappropriate
God, this whole
touching.
thing is just such a
Conversion.
mess. They
Yeah,
all
anyway.
lying. Joe, the Democrats are lying about historically low unemployment. All those 500,000 jobs created in the last quarter. They're all low-paying minimum wage jobs. They're part-time. They're not full-time jobs. They cannot sustain anybody's life on that one job. And the Republicans, of
Yeah.
course, they want to cut Social Security and
They're on the
what's the
record
other
for
one?
it.
Medicare.
Yeah, some of them.
And
have-
he's on the record for saying it was on the
And
table back in the
Democrats
day.
do.
He is.
And the Democrats do. That's what part of that
Horrors of socialism.
that thing, yes, the horrors of socialism, whatever. That's what that mess was about. Because when a Democratic representative tried to add an amendment that clarified that they weren't talking about socialist programs like specifically Social Security and Medicare, the Republicans were like, "Fuck no, we no," because we do want to. That's what this thing, man. Please, they all sitting up there lying, all of them lying. Liars.
I just feel like the Botox isn't working or whatever. Like, it's
No,
like
it's
that's the
starting
other
to-
thing.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's
Yeah,
starting to
well, how-
all like just like fall apart. Like it's going to melt off or something like that. It's going to a chunk of it's just going to fall off.
It's the hair plugs. You know what I mean? The hair plugs, I think, bother me a little bit more than the Botox. Like, we know your hairline left you decades, many
But then he
decades.
stopped. He only did the front, but he never did the back part. And so it's almost like you got a full head of hair here.
He should see Trump's guy.
Yeah, well, yeah. Because Trump grows it out at the sides. He lets it lay down. He does the whole on top and mix it around kind of
They can
thing. It's
only
like
do
an
so
ice
much
cream
with that
swirl and shit
hair.
on Trump's head.
Or
they can
what
only
he
do
should.
so much of the hair when they put him in the cryogenic chamber. I mean, they
Yeah.
can't.
Probably burned off part of the new plugs and shit like that. the
What he
chamber.
needs to do is join the club like me and my DJ. You know what I'm saying? Right here, doctor. Like just let it go. You know what I'm saying?
Let it go. Let it
That's
go.
it. That's
Looks
it.
nice though. Looks nice, fellas. Head nice and shiny, nice and moisturized and gleaming.
That's that shea butter. That's that shea butter.
You know what I'm saying? Tell him, man, Don. Joey, let it go. Get some shea butter. Do your life. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Joe.
Y'all
Join the
playing
club,
yourself out there. Oh man. Hey yo, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back because y'all are blowing them out the water with this news today, and I'm loving it. So let's go ahead and take a quick break. Let me get this pulled up right here on. Y'all know what this is? The Remix Morning Show! Yeah, we're in the back. We got Sundays radio. If y'all tuned in, I appreciate that. That's every Sunday at 8 p.m. This Sunday is not going down. I got a gig and Super Bowl. I got some things I got to go do. So, you know, I'll be out and about, but I will catch y'all that next Sunday. With that said, let's go ahead and talk about giving birthday shout outs right now. Can we give a birthday shout out to no other than the man they call Jay Dilla, whose birthday was yesterday. That's right, Jay Dilla. Let me tell you a little bit about James Yancey. Straight out of Detroit, he is a producer, drummer, rapper, and songwriter. He came out in the 1990s on that underground scene down with the Soul Aquarians. In case y'all don't know that, that's Mos Def, that's Talib, that's Common, that's the Roots, that's the all of them. So, you know, he came out and did his thing. He actually had his transition and passed away at the age of 32, dealing with TTP and lupus. So yeah, this man did it for Detroit in a big way, a major way. He just had his birthday yesterday, so I just wanted to send a shout out to this man. He's been doing this thing for a while, and his music will always and forever be around. You have heard him with Tribe Called Quest. You've heard him with Slum Village. You heard him produce for mad people. And a lot of these people say he is one of the best producers ever, especially when it comes to his drum patterns and not dealing with that word right there, boy. Quantization. If I got that right, I did. If I didn't, I did. Well, anyway, big up to my man, Jay Dilla. So with that said, let's do this.
Oh, ain't no stopping us. We whole bunch of smoke. Ain't no popping up. Cause what we got in the streets, what all day and night, all blazing hot, walk straight inside.
Damn, this shit sound good.
Yeah.
Now
let's get back to the Remix Morning Crew. You know how we do, yo. All right.
Had to be a spleen where that rusty bullet laid at. Somebody came through with decay and they blazed that. Packs of the elephant, Mac and Mount Elliott. Stackers, I'm selling shit. Bumping Big Brew and that Dilla shit. Think about breeding.
Yeah.
Where is he on your top producers list, everybody?
Man, he gotta be top 5.
I think I'd agree. I think I'd agree. Yo,
it's hard. Yeah.
Top
10. I'll go with top 10. Cause I mean, yeah. Whew. But
and shout out to those DC Loves Dilla shows. DC, I can say, has represented Dilla quite well, and with a number of shows for over years that are incredibly well done. So
you know what? I'm gonna put him top 5 because we can't forget the R&B he's done too. Not just hip hop. We talk about Erykah Badu. We talk about Dwele. We talk, Music Soul Child, all of them.
I want to ask about something controversial then. Okay, you go first, Kim.
Oh, no. I was just going to say that I don't think I need to see a full collection of Dilla's discography because it's probably way more extensive than I even know that it is. Like you mentioned the R&B stuff that he's done in addition. I'm sure there's stuff out there that we don't even know that's Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? But what was you going to say, Kamal? I'm sorry.
No, I was going to ask like more controversial. Like, so where would you put P. Diddy?
What?
0. He's not a producer. Shame on you. That's get out of here. Thank you, ear doctor.
No problem.
Fired.
No problem.
Get help. Pick a meme. Reply to Kamal.
It was all going so well.
I would never
put Diddy not a producer.
Because he don't know music.
He hired producers to produce for him, right?
Yeah.
No,
Hitmen in particular.
It's different types of producers. You know what I'm saying? It's like the one that on the outside watching all the producers. He's that guy.
He's
not
that
the
producer?
he's not he's not the one that's doing the beats. Like you talking about great producers. We talk about Pete Rock. We talking about Premier. We talking about Dr. Dre. We talking about Havoc from Mobb Deep. I mean, there's so many ones that's actually doing a thing. So Diamond D. Don't get me started. Missy Elliott.
Absolutely.
Real quick though,
Is quantization a kind of producing?
I don't know what that is.
I'm just asking to be clear.
I'm the kid in
not
the
really
class and
hip-hop.
hoping somebody else asked the question for me. Thanks.
It's
Jackie.
like when the computer pretty much puts stuff in sync. Some producers don't need the computer putting stuff in sync. They know how to do it by themselves. So he was that guy.
And about Jay Dilla's passing, when he died at 32, first of all, it was an awareness for me about lupus, and it contradicted a lot of things that I thought I knew about lupus. I didn't think that men got lupus. I thought lupus was a woman's condition, and I didn't know people could die from lupus, and I damn sure didn't know people could die in their 30s from lupus. Like it was a rude awakening. Jay Dilla's passing, about the extent of lupus specifically in our community and how it affects our men also.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. With that said, eat as healthy as you can, exercise, and do what you can for your body and your mind and your spirit. With that said, I'll catch y'all later. We got enough to do a mix, so I'll see y'all.
Where did Biggie mix at? You did the Biggie mix already? I asked you for?
Let me go get it together.
You're not going to do what I asked you. I know you're not going to do it, mother.
Thank you.
I do see some good suggestions. I mean, some producers in the chat. The chat knows their production. I see that. I co-sign a lot of that. Well done, remixers.
We got some really just brilliant people in the chat, but sometimes y'all.
Brilliant?
I'm gonna I give people credit where credit is due, and I got to tell you, the by any means necessary chat, Remix Morning Show chat, the chats on our shows. These people are top notch. We got a lot of people in the chat who know their
Top
stuff.
notch?
I do think so. I do. I'm not even gonna let you dunk on our people.
No, they're all right. I mean, they're not giving up that money today. They ain't giving no money today.
Kamak. All right, Kamak.
I mean, I'm just saying, they're calling me names and shit. They're not giving up that money. Today was a bad day.
But you know what? I have to say now look, in how long have we been doing this? 2 years. It'll be a 2-year anniversary.
Long time.
Next week. And I'm gonna try very hard to be in Atlanta. I'm working on that.
Oh, don't do it. We'll talk that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Stay where you did. Don't you worry about that one. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Anyway, but
those plans went up in.
Okay. All right. So let me skip over that. So look, folks in the chat. All right, this is not news, but I like to give folks in the chat the credit that is due, because when we blank on a detail, somebody in the chat will always find it. We get ideas for segments, for at least I do sometimes. People will bring something up about a story I'm doing in the chat I don't know all the details on, and folks in it, I give folks in the chat their props because they are intelligent folks. However,
all of them? Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Not all of them, because I see why there is the standing guidance to stay out the chat generally on the show. Because sometimes, we're doing the show in the morning and the conversation between us is great, and the producers, May, shout out to May and the producing team, will see, some comments, put them up on the screen. Mostly, we miss a lot of the chat. So sometimes I'll go back after the show and I'll look through the chat to see the comments. But sometimes everything is not great. So yesterday, someone said something that got under my skin.
Get him. Get him.
Yeah. Little teeny bit. So, we had a little cameo with my comrade and co-host Sean Blackman here. And both Sean and I said something that we say all the time, that we would do this for free.
Right.
And when we meant this, we were talking about Sputnik, the show we do by any means necessary. But I also included this, what we do here on Black Power Media. And then someone said, oh, look at this. You know, folks on here talking about they're going to do this for free, but getting a paycheck. Let me explain something to y'all.
Get 'em. Get
Let me
'em.
explain something to you people who may not know who I am and how I got here.
Uh-oh.
I did this for free with Abdushaheed Lukman since 2015. We started Lukman Nation on Blog Talk Radio. And we had two people call in to the show, to our little show every week. One dude was from with Milwaukee, and another dude was in Detroit, I think. Both Black, both oddly conservative. So they never agreed with anything we said, but they always called in and said, you know, I don't agree with your perspective, but I'm just glad that you're doing the show. I'm glad that it's out there. I'm glad that, you know, Black people out there with their opinions. You know, and this was not even something I wanted to do. This was Lukman Nation was Abdushaheed Lukman's idea. This was his baby. So we moved from Blog Talk Radio to, we discovered people were doing Facebook streams. And I was like, I don't really want to be on camera. He was like, I really want you to be on camera. You're really good at this. So my thing was, okay, I'll do it if you do it with me. So he was like, all right, cool, bet, let's do it. So we start streaming on Facebook. Gathered a little bit more following, but no money. We kept doing it. So then we moved to YouTube, started streaming on our channel on YouTube. And we did this because we are political junkies, we're political wonks, we're Pan-Africanists. We love talking about policy and how it impacts our people domestically and internationally. And his reasoning was, look, people put, you know, clothes on their cats and do makeup tutorials and have, you know, hundreds of people following. Sure, we can have a show where two Black people talk about serious issues. So we did that since 2015 for free. Every 2-3 shows a week, sometimes for free. And that was on top of the organizing we were doing in organizations outside of being on a platform somewhere for free. I still do that for free. I didn't get paid to do this until 2019, when I got offered the gig at By Any Means Necessary. And the only reason I got offered that gig to get paid to do this was because of what I was doing with Abdushaheed Lukman for free. So I say that I would do this for free because I did it for free, because this is organizing. This is political this is political education. This is what I'm going to do regardless of whether I get paid to do it or not. So as Abdus would say, don't come at the queen.
Oh.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Same thing here. I would do By Any Means Necessary almost for free. So, you know, when we talk about, you know, what I would do it for, when we do the 3-way co-hosting, the triple it up, the Menage a host, whatever.
My father is watching. What are you
I said Menage a host. I said Menage a host.
Hey,
I didn't say the other thing, like the 3 hosts.
he gonna rebuke you. That's
I'm
he
a
just
friend. I'm a friend.
he just reconciled that we're friends. Now he gonna rebuke you.
My bad. I love you, sir. Sorry, sir.
Now,
What do
some
you
of the I'm glad you said that and did that. I think some of the comments we get are beyond the pocket, shall we say, and I don't understand why they should be in your pockets, puns intended. Like what if you get a check, that automatically means you're a traitor of some sorts? Is so? I don't, anyway, so okay, but that's good. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, there's a couple of dollars that just rolled in. ZZ Lion is killing it. Another 20.
ZZ Lion comes through.
I'm saying, can you give like 3 more before the day's up? Just saying before. It's like
again.
We got 23 more minutes to go.
I would actually want to, I was trying to do some quick math while you were talking,
Very
Jackie,
true.
but which is never good because I'm bad at math, and it just, even if I'm dedicating 100% of my, attention to it. But I was really trying to think that, again, I'm not in your pocket. I don't know what you're paid over there, but I think about what a lot of us do. And I'm assuming that, I would assume, my guess would be that for the work we put in, whatever check anybody makes is not nearly commensurate with the work that they're putting in. So, I mean, anyway, I would,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
okay.
You on mute.
Oh, sorry, Kim. Sorry about that. I had muted you for the feedback. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think we should be considering the source if some of these wayward critiques, and some of them, we appreciate y'all correcting us on facts, or if we got details wrong. But I stand by my statement. I think there are some plants in this chat. I think that the alphabet folks have people situated in different platforms to stir dissent, to create friction. With unjustified critiques, like that bullshit. Whoever said whatever about you getting a check. Shut up, man. Shut up. We know who you are. We know you the feds. We know the feds is in here. We know the feds is in here talking shit and trying to stir shit up. So I want us to be considerate of at least the source of someone. When shit comes out of left field, it's probably coming out of way left field. You know what I mean? Like. So don't let silly stuff get under your skin, Jacqueline. We see you, we see your heart. We saw Abdus's heart. We know the commitment and the love that you have for Black people, and anybody else who doubts that can fuck all the way off.
And speaking of Alphabet Boys, did you all talk about this, or anybody start listening to this?
We did not.
No, what is this?
So it's a new podcast series that has come out, and part of it deals exactly with what Kim was just talking about, and may in fact be very well happening with us, which is basically the updating of COINTELPRO and the involvement of snitches and not snitches. It's not snitches. It's infiltrators. It's agents. It's plants. It's provocateurs. So it's another series. I got to listen to a good part of it yesterday, and on some level, I have to say it was less revealing or earth-shattering than I expected or thought it would be, and maybe only because of the work that we do around here so often. Like a lot of it is just, it's like, well, duh, I would expect this. We should know this. Maybe the details are a little bit revealing, but I maybe just a little bit desensitized. So I don't want to overdo it there, and encourage people to check it out for themselves and really be aware that Kim, I think to your point, we should not at all be surprised if a few of these alphabet boys, by which of course we mean the intelligence agencies, are dropping folks, assigning folks. I could even see this as like low-level entry work. Like your first assignment is to go to BPM's chat and say dumb shit. Like I could see that, like, and then if you do well, we'll elevate you to actually showing up at people's meetings and things like that. But that's what this is about. So I would definitely encourage people to check it out. And I think we all should, and maybe do some programming around it, because I think many of us would have and many of you would have very interesting things to go from it.
Well, they did a segment on Democracy Now! On it. So let me play a little bit of the segment because it was interesting. The segment on so someone wrote a book about the infiltration and obviously they did, maybe they didn't write a book. They came up with the podcast, and this was BLM rallies and demonstrations in 2020. I think the big thing that came out of it, at least the lead story, was that this informant who, again, just hearing the way in which this went down, like we really got to do. Me and Kalonji might be on the same page. I mean, we got to do some serious security training, because the level of the infiltration should have been spotted, at least in my humble opinion, very early, or the person who was the infiltrator, which I'm going to show folks in a second. It should have been spotted that there were some real problems here from the beginning, and this person was not to be trusted or looked at. So let me just play a little bit of it here for us to check out. And so, yeah.
Windecker met with his FBI handlers. By the way, he's denying he's an FBI informant. Met with his FBI handlers before he met with the Denver activist Zeb Hall.
It is August 28th, 2020 at approximately 4:02 p.m. Special Agent Scott Dahlstrom with Special Agent Byron Mitchell, CHS, for meet with Zebediah Hall.
Thank you. You can hear this, so I'll put it in my front pocket, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. See how nice and slender they are?
So this is a pre-meeting with the informant and the FBI, giving him the recordings. And basically what he did was set up another BLM activist to buy illegal weapons from him. And apparently this guy would show up at BLM rallies. I just wanted you to see what he looks like. That's it.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's Mickey Windecker talking to his handler.
And he shows up, he would show up in like a silver hearse filled with guns. And then he would talk about how he fought ISIS and fought all these other, I mean, it's wild to listen to what this man was claiming. And I was thinking, if anybody showed up around me talking like that, I would have immediately be like, get the hell out of my face. Like, I don't, you know, but he apparently was effective in bringing some young and including black activists over to his side, so to speak.
And this is the guy who I guess got set up and actually purchased the weapon. And this is him later, I think, denying that he was an FBI agent. So let me just play this little clip so you can see again who this person is.
Style assault rifle. That was his background.
So there's a group that, or a individual that's claiming that they are Antifa Colorado Springs. And in fact, that I believe that they are actually not Antifa Colorado Springs, because I believe they are actually a cop. This individual has posted stuff discrediting other individuals that are fighting.
So this is him calling somebody else a cop after being accused of being an informer.
Against the fascists in Denver, Colorado, such as Cutting the Plastic and other communist groups and other individuals. I, for one, am not amused or pleased about the that's going on.
So that's Mickey Windecker.
So yeah, so yeah, watch your backs out there, but please, for the I want to say everything is easily identified. And people, there are characters in the movement, so it's not as if this because someone is a character, they have a different personality. But if some dude is driving around with guns in the back of a hearse, and he's telling you to do some crazy things and to buy a gun from him, please, please, please let your first instinct be, this is too wild for me. This is too stupid. This is too crazy. No thanks, but no thanks, or whatever. I'm out. You know what I mean? So it's something that it should not be that easy. At least, again, according, so, you know, this guy's a personality. You know, he might have been out there. Sometimes folks like that, demonstrative personality and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean that just because someone shouts the loudest, that someone is the most, you know, marked up with ink or whatever, that they somehow should be trusted. I'm not even saying because he was white, he shouldn't be trusted, but this dude was out there, right? So just folks need to be careful. We need to do more study on COINTELPRO history when there are folks who are coming around suggesting to do things which are not within the guidelines of what your organization does in the first place. Then you got to know that that is something that you report to leadership. You don't have any private meetings with that person. If they ask to, hey, come do this and come do that, then you can begin to separate yourself and your organization from somebody like that. And if even at this stage, if it turns out that the person is just a little off and they're not, it's better part of valor, right? To just be safe at this particular stage. You don't want to be paranoid, but we got to be safe. And so that, you know, this was just not, obviously this is the FBI setting this up. But I just think like the way they did it, they, you know, they have different means and mechanisms. Sure, he wasn't the only one who infiltrated, but that was the story that was told the other day. Yeah.
I mean, I forgot what the numbers. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kim. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I just said it was interesting. Just interesting.
I mean, I forgot what the numbers are, but since 9/11, the reports that were coming out that were like of X amount of all the arrests that the FBI has made, X amount of them, like overwhelmingly, they have been inspired by the FBI. They have been agent provocateured by the FBI, that people they were arresting would have never gone in these directions had it not been for some FBI saying, let's step up, let's do the next level, let's do this, let's do that. Don't you want guns? Don't you want guns? You want guns, right? You want guns, right? So yeah, it's everything you said. I think.
Yeah, no, the level of entrapment is real. It's basically these schemes that they put together, and then it's the most. And usually the people they get to do it, it's not everybody, of course, but the people they get to sort of agree to it are folks who have no training in this kind of stuff. They don't know how to purchase it in the first place. They've never used it in the second place. And so it's basically just using folks to entrap them to do something. And then a huge headline, right? Terrorists arrested on their way to do A, B, C, D. When, like you said, it's the FBI who's walking them through, which then breeds the distrust within the organization, which breeds the distrust within movement. So for them, it's not necessarily they catch the quote unquote leaders of the movement. It's that they can catch somebody who's they're a little naive, or they want to show how rah-rah they are. If you catch them, it does your job for you, because it then discredits everything that was happening around it, because now you've got somebody locked up. And so, yeah.
I think you're right in your analysis, but I do just want to throw it out there for world majority organizers. I don't think it's not always a bad thing to stop at the race part of the whole equation. You know, like
sometimes
I'm just saying, like, I feel like if that guy, because I had only heard the podcast and I hadn't seen what he looked like, and I was like, you gotta be kidding. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, I'm doing too much, but I'm just saying.
I mean, I think, but sometimes it's not always, you know, somebody who is like obviously
that's
too intent on carrying out a violent act. Sometimes it's not that overt. Sometimes it seems more subtle if you've got people in your organization who always want to pick a fight, who always want to pick a fight, you know, along ideological lines, and their arguments are always way too liberal or leaning into just right wing. You know, I think it would be foolish to not. It would be foolish to not believe that some of those folks could possibly be infiltrators of some kind. Now, I don't think that means you start kicking people out. I think that means you need to develop a healthy process for how to engage and struggle with these people, and how you deal with people who don't want to agree to the principles of unity within your organization. Because at this point, I got to believe that all serious organizations are infiltrated at some point, if not just basically under surveillance by the government. I think that's generally true. And for someone who saw Sean walk by, that's not the mystery man. That is Sean, the voice Blackman.
Yeah, it's our co-host.
The host of My Enemies Necessary on Radio Sputnik, which I have to go and do my regular job now for.
Well, let me do our job now.
Say what, sir?
No, I'm just echoing the we have to go leave to do our work.
Okay, anyway.
If people doing certain work, again, you should expect it. Like Jacqueline, when I worked for the Voice of Russia, I mean, we would see, I assume, FBI regularly. Okay, like we would see them, and we just assumed that our offices and our studios were wired. You know what I mean? So.
Right. We know this, so that's the reality we have to move in. But really quickly, tomorrow I'm going to talk about Burkina Faso and Mali. Do not let me forget.
Talk about it today. We can't talk about it today. You got to go.
No, I got to go. I got to go. Look here, I told you.
Kim was the one in class saying, "I got another question, teacher.
No,
I got another question."
Answers. No more answers. Y'all don't pay me enough to stick around all the time. I got to do my real job where they pay my mortgage. So
true.
So I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
See you.
All right, Jackie. Peace. Take care. Thank you very much.
I did not realize the time it was. See, again, the morning show flies by when we are all together in community and in fellowship, as it were. So yeah, so I did want to talk about Burkina Faso and Mali, but tomorrow, since Jackie's our foreign affairs correspondent and she will be joining us. But shit, my baby father, Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov is over there in Mali right now. My baby father, what's up, Sergey? Hey, baby. Hey, sweetheart. Sergey's over there.
Man, Kim, when did that happen? I missed. When did that happen?
That's my part. I'll find the picture. I'll send it to Ear Doctor. Maybe we'll show it tomorrow. But it has other people's faces in it, so I don't know if other people want to be. But anyway, when I worked for the Voice of Russia, Foreign Minister Lavrov came to our studios, and there's a picture of me and him, and he's got me gripped up around the waist. That's why I call him my baby father. It's like, look at Sergey flirting. His little caramelita with his little caramel queen. I say, yeah, Sergey. Yeah.
Oh wow! All right, that was.
What years were you at Russia Today?
I was at the Voice of Russia 2011 through 2013.
Am I the only one that can't get a job with the Russians? I don't understand. I'm putting it out there for years. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
I was like, I'm with you. I told her, I told them, my mother's people are from Russia. They still wouldn't hire me. I was like, damn, I'm trying. I'm like,
I'm about to knock on the door of the consulate and be like, yo, what's going on, B?
I got my communist shirts and stuff. I'm like, I'm all
Exactly.
like, I'm ready to go.
I know, y'all, but let's just be clear. Even though we prefer Russia, I suppose, to America, the Russians is racist as a motherfucker
Oh,
too.
no question. No, right on, Kim. Right on, Kim.
Let's keep things in perspective. They love white as much as the fucking Anglos. You know what I mean? They love white.
It was the only area I found myself disagreeing or rolling my eyes at Paul Robeson when he was talking about how all the Russians loved him. I was like, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
They love him because he was
They love
celebrity,
you.
right? Right.
It's like,
and no matter the Russians that I worked with, lovely, lovely people, but they would tell me with very serious faces, like, "Oh, Kim, if you come to Moscow, you cannot walk alone in the street at night because they're very hostile to black people there in Russia." I said, "No shit." I believe.
Yeah, I believe that. I will say shout out to the Russians I delivered pizzas with over here, because over here they went hard. They rolled for your boys. So I was like, okay, I rock with the Russians at the pizza delivery spot. So anyway,
and it's also interesting to me, and I'll get off this really quickly, but Russian immigrants, Eastern European immigrants, they have an awareness of their whiteness when they come to America. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden they understand that their whiteness, despite them being foreign, despite them not having a grasp of the language, that is not an impediment to them to be able to ascend the ladder of whiteness in America. They get that really quick when they come over here.
Let's just remember, part of the reason the Soviet Union fell was because some of them folks, they wanted to get down with the Western capitalism. It wasn't like everybody was a communist still or wanted to be like separate. They was like, we want to get down with it. And that's why that's how the first original sanctions got put on Iran at the UN, because the part of the Russian deal was, oh, we're not going to stand with them motherfuckers. It's like, what? We'll do those sanctions if you let us in to the groups, all the G this and the G that and the whatever. And it's like, they was like, oh, yeah, we'll let you in a little bit here and a little bit there. And then it turned out that, the Westerners was like, y'all like the dirty whites for us. Y'all the underclass whites. Y'all can't get full top grouping with us Westerners. And they're finally getting back to understand that. It's like, y'all serve the purpose in Europe as being a labor market. They're not trying to integrate with y'all. So hey. Well, speaking of somebody though who integrates with all of us, and
there
he has
we
a
go.
special mix.
Hey Kim, could you say if he dies, he dies?
He dies. If he dies, he dies.
She's good. No, she is good.
She got that, yo.
She is good.
One more. I must break you.
I thought it was I will break him. I will break you.
Yes.
No, my Russian accent very good, very good. I spent some time with the Russians. They taught me a little bit of the Ruski. Как сказать по-русски, как сказать по-английски. And of course, I know how to say пойдем курить marijuana. Do you want to smoke some weed?
Oh,
nice. How do you say puff in Russian?
Nice.
Only on Black Power Media.
That's the first thing you got to do when you translate. Everywhere you go, where's the bathroom and where's the weed?
And now that I have that, where's the food? Yo, hey, big up to everybody for tuning in today, man. We had a great show, and it's all because of y'all too, y'all energy and everything. And big up to the heroes out in Venezuela that got them kids out of that rubble. I know we got to give a big shout out to them real quick, and for that earthquake, in case y'all didn't know. But
not Venezuela, my dearest. Turkey and Syria.
Exactly. So with that said,
same thing. tomatoes, Kim. Come on.
I was like, what is there? Earthquake in Venezuela? I didn't know that.
All right, let me go and play some music. big up. This is the Remix Morning Show. Yo, Kim, stick around so we get your mic right after the show, all right? Let's get it right here, y'all. We gonna do it up for Dilla.
Since you supply by weight, but if you fit it in, I'll be there by 8, sitting in the chair, I say, and if it's theirs, we'll wait. But if it's
I've done some foolish things in my past, knowing how karma works, it wouldn't last. Baby, I know it's time for me to change. I'll make commitments and even change my thinking, baby. I know what's good for me. It's good for you, and it's good to me. You know if it's good for we, let's stay together.
Once again, big up to all y'all tuning in right here, right now on the Remix Morning Show.
Oh shit! Smoke it out.
We rocking out some Jay Dilla.
For my chick tonight.
Detroit, where you at?
I'll pull your motherfucking plug like a fuck supposed to. Hold the loaded toast from all the pistol smokers. Out of this shit on my shoulder holster. You know the culture when it's East Coast, we run the streets most. Hawaiian beef, turn your peeps into meatloaf. You know the steez. When it's murder in 3rd degrees, we observe the breeze and move with the wind like birds and bees. Word to G's. Christ,
we out of here, y'all.
Roll the dice, you know the price.
Remix Morning Show.
Crib,
Let's go with
the cold as ice.